Pisceans out there, hello and welcome to your horoscope for the month of August of 2012. But first of all, I want to thank you. I want to thank you all Pisceans who have commented, who have subscribed, who have ordered readings, and so on and so on. Thank you so much. Because it's important that I say this, because otherwise I couldn't be doing this if there is not any encouragement. So thank you a lot. Having said that, let's stick to your horoscope. Let's go back to that horoscope for the Pisceans for the month of August. What is going to happen? It's going to be a Piscean month for you. It's going to be quite Piscean month, especially at the end of the month, and especially for the Pisceans who have planets or an ascendant at the very beginning of Pisces. It's going to be quite interesting. Interesting is a boring word. I find another word. Yes, it's going to be all about your aspirations. You are sick of and fed up with the fact that your aspirations aren't working, and you're going to try to change that. That's the key of the month of August. It's about your self-worth. Just as I told Virgos, because they are mirrors, of course. The second house and the eighth house are so much involved, so it's about self-worth, but also about fear of your own aspirations. So let's have a look what this is all about. Actually, the month starts off with Pisces time. Why is that? Because Venus is trining Neptune. At the beginning of the month, around the 9th, the 10th of the month, Venus is trining Neptune, which is a beautiful energy, which is beautiful because Venus is in your 5th house of romance and of creativity and of children and of playfulness, and it's trining Neptune in your 1st. So I think it can start for you a very inspiring time, a very creative time, a very beautiful time when it considers relationships. So you're very, you have high ideals, and you like that as a Piscean. You like to have high ideals, and that's very much linked with that aspiration that I'm going to talk about. So what happens? It's not you being in that Piscean bubble all the month, because in the middle of the month something happens with the Pluto-Uranus square again. So last month it was Mars that triggered it. This month it's going to be Venus, and it's going to be again building up towards the middle of the month, around the 13, 14, 15. So what's going on around that period? Two things are going on. First, I'm going to talk about something else. I hope this isn't too chaotic, but you Pisceans, you can cope with that, I hope. But Mars-Saturn is conjuncting in your 8th house around the middle of the month, whilst that Pluto-Uranus square is triggered. So Mars is about action and Saturn is discipline. So there's a kind of a frustrating energy going on during these couple of days in the middle of the month when it's considered the 8th house. And you have been doing a lot of work there. 8th house, I'm not going to repeat myself all the time. But it's about you that have thought about your frustrations, about the things that are taboo for you, the things that you fear, the things that I've got the feeling that it's all building up towards something. You are at your limit when it is about those difficult challenges that everybody has in its life. It can be anything. It can be a relationship, it can be work, it can be a project, no matter what, but it has to do with something very deep. It's the 8th house is a very deep house, and it's coming to a climax around that period. You almost had enough of it, and during that same time, Venus is opposing Pluto and squaring up to Uranus. So every sign is going to learn something about, not only about love, But Venus is also about that second house, you know, Taurus house. It's about self-worth, self-confidence. It's about your value system. So a lot of people will meet changes around that area of life. And especially you, because that Saturn and that Mars is in that 8th house. It's also the worth of other people that are involved. And because Venus is in the 5th, the house of creativity, opposing to Pluto in the 11th, I think it has to do with your aspirations. It has to do with you fear, there is a fear involved with aspirations. Pluto is where our fears are. And Pluto tries to transform these aspirations. And you're going to have them anyway, good aspirations, but it's almost like you think that you can't do it or something, or there's an insecurity involved. And I talked about that last month already. It's kind of a continuing. So yes, a lot of Pisceans, normally, unless you have 20 planets in Aries, they have insecurities, or they feel that they can't do it, whatever it is they've got to do, having a good relationship, having a good job, whatever. But they feel that you know, that there's something about it and they can't do it. But actually they will, and they will do it anyway, because there is this force upon them that has to do it, whatever it is that you have to do. And I think you'll be fine. And I'm not saying that just to cuddle you, but because there is a fixed star involved here. And of course fixed stars are used, there are many of them of course, but some fixed stars are used in horary astrology. But I also think they're very interesting when something happens in a conjunction with transits. And this is happening right now. Spica is around 23 degrees of Libra, and it's now bang on that Mars-Saturn conjunction. So whatever it is, you're going to be fine. Spica is all about a kind of protection. So whatever it is that is difficult for you, that is challenging for you at the moment, you're going to be fine. So I think that's a good thing to know. But you Pisceans, you mostly have that trust anyway. You mostly do have that. So I think you are going to be fine. And another thing is important that I think you're going to be fine is that after that clash, or after that tension that happens with that Pluto, Venus, Uranus, and that Mars and Saturn, there's on the 17th of August a very important new moon in Leo. And that is your 6th house. So why is it that important, that new moon? Because it's not just a new moon, it's on another fixed star. I know, the fixed stars are important this month. It's on Regulus. So this means there is this new beginning, this new fresh start when it considers your 6th house. You could say that's a boring house, the 6th house. It's the house of Virgo, it's the house of the little details, it's the house of the day-to-day routine. It's boring. It's not, because it's going to help you to do that, whatever you have this challenge with. You know, this relationship or this project or this work that you have to do. This is going to help you. And last month Mercury was going retrograde, and also the beginning of this month. So Mercury goes direct as from the 8th of August in that 6th house, together with that new moon in your 6th house. So that's and a new ambitious moon. So Regulus is about success, wanting success, being ambitious. It's not about being happy and having all good things come to you. No, it's about success at your field. It's about being ambitious. And I think it's linked with your aspirations that you're having. So they're not gonna go away. They're not gonna go away. Don't think any of that. On the contrary, they're going to reinforce themselves towards the end of the month. They're going to, yes, I can do it, whatever it is that you've got to do. And because Mercury rules your 7th house, it's in your 6th house. So someone is helping you. Someone, your loved one probably, is helping you with that difficult, you know, Virgo stuff, this day-to-day stuff. So you've been spending quite some time on it, and now you are going to see how important that was. So very interesting for Pisceans, for their self-worth, and for, because that's the key and the building up, to love yourself a tiny little bit, just a tiny little bit more. Not going to say that Pisceans don't love themselves, but that is kind of a key here, because it has to do with that self-confidence. It's key here to love yourself just a tiny little bit more. And it's a building up. Why do I say that? And now I'm going to speak especially, not only for all the Pisceans, but especially for those who have planets around 0 and 10 degrees of Pisces, because at the end of the month there is this Mars. This Mars is also going to try Neptune at the end of the month. So that gives a gentle boost for a word of other people that you can gain. So that's a good thing. You are inspired. You are getting more inspired. But the Sun will enter your 7th house at the end of the month, at the 24th of August in Virgo. You can say that's a good thing, Sun in your 7th house. Yes, but it bumps into Neptune right away. So maybe that other person is going to say to you, it's difficult to pin you down. You're a bit flu. Now I'm talking to the ones from 0 to 10 degrees of Pisces. So there is a flueness in the relationship. But it's not bad or anything. It's just not clear enough. But again, Pisceans are not having trouble with things not being too clear. And I think that Pisceans, really, that Neptune in their sign, they can deal with it very well. So, but be aware of that Sun is in your 7th house, so that other person comes into the picture, and it's going to play a role. It's going to play a mirror for you, and especially at the end of the month. At the end of the month, it's really Piscean time, because at the 31st of August, there is a full moon in your sign, and it's not just an ordinary full moon, you know, the moon in Pisces in your 1st house and the Sun in Virgo in the 7th house. No, it's a very subjective moon there. Moon in the 1st house is already a kind of an Aries moon. You know, you want to say, hey, look at me, I'm here, respect me. But it's a very emotional moon, because Neptune is involved and Chiron is involved. So you've got this constellation of the moon conjuncting Neptune and conjuncting Chiron in your 1st house. So people are going to see what's going on with you. So people, and especially that other person who's living close to you, who's playing a significant part. So that's not bad if they see you how you truly are. And even when you are a bit sensitive, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being sensitive, on the contrary, but you're going to the other one is going to trigger it in a way. It could be that the other one, you know, the compassion you have and the love that you have for yourself, it's like it's triggered. You've got to do it. You've got to love yourself. You've got to have compassion with yourself. And I know a lot of Pisceans will say, what the hell are you talking about? I have compassion for other people. But now it's like the inverse. It's like you. So, open up for that mirror. Don't run away from it. That would be a pity. But now that you know it, you're not going to do it, are you? So there's a lot of you that is transforming through your value system, and that is a good thing. You're becoming way more aware of your value system, of what you value, and that reflects in your relationships, and that reflects in the work that you are doing. And the North Node, if you have planets at the very end of Pisces, the North Node is going to trine that. The North Node is now at the end of the month, also the 31st. It will be an important end of the month for you. At the 31st, the North Node is shifting from Sagittarius into Scorpio, and that trines with people who have planets or an ascendant at the end of Pisces. And it's not just the North Node. That North Node is conjuncting Juno and Eros. Juno, the planet, the little planet of commitment, of the little planet of the relationship you want, you are going to have. That's Juno. And Eros is passion. So that's nice for Pisceans who've got planets at the end of the very end of Pisces, because they're going to encounter that. And maybe it's going to make them a bit insecure and thinking, are these good things happening for you? Yes, they are. Try to get used to it and try to be open. Don't push them away. So thank you for listening, you Pisceans. Thank you for watching my videos and subscribing and so on. I wish you all the luck for August, for this very sensitive, but not only sensitive, also there's a kind of you know, that Pluto in the 11th, it's coming along, and it's serious thinking about these aspirations, and it's good because that's where it starts. So thank you for watching, and see you soon. See you next month. Bye bye, Pisceans.